If you're a personal trainer, let me ask you a question. Do you have a job or do you have a career? Have you committed your professional life to being an expert trainer, or do you fill in a few hours here and there just to make a bit of extra money or to whatever that looks like? Because here's some fairly sobering statistics. 1 in 5 personal trainers work less than 5 hours in a week, and only 7% of personal trainers work 36 hours or more, so it's their full-time job. 7%. How can we really be an expert in our field if we're only working less than 5 hours a week at it? The reality is that personal training is a profession. Professionalising what we do is what Fitness Australia does. We want people to stay in the industry, to build career pathways, and to logically see their career lay out in front of them by virtue of the education that they get, the training that they have, and being successful, making money. Today, we're going to be talking to 2 exercise professionals at either end of the career pathway spectrum. One of them is quite new to the industry, and the other one, and she's been in the industry for in excess of 20 years. So I'm really keen to understand, what is it that keeps you in the industry, and what is it that is less attractive, it is likely to push you out? And where does Fitness Australia fit in with that? We're sort of moving away from the aesthetics into the health. You know, train for health, don't train for appearance or however that looks. When you went to uni, did that point you in that health direction, or was it, did you get sufficient, I guess, knowledge and experience that you needed to be able to bring that message out in your work some 10 years afterwards?
Uni was so important because it taught me to look at the evidence, to just keep asking questions, to look at the foundations and then work your way up. And then I dealt with many different populations, so that was the important thing that I got out of it.
When you say many different populations?
Yeah, so cultures, people from minority groups, people who don't have that kind of education in terms of health and fitness, demographics. That was really important. So now I kind of draw on that and say, okay, this person's not really educated on, what healthy food is. It's very simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. It's what you can kind of adhere to long term.
I find that really interesting, because I think one of the reasons that we have this, if you like, this revolving door, is because we've got about 15 or 16% of Australians that go to a gym. What about the other 85% that don't? And what tends to happen, I think, with trainers particularly, is the initial focus is on the gym goer, where if you start talking about special populations, if you start talking about people that might be older or might just be non-exercisers or whatever, there's a whole lot more people out there. I'm interested to know, do you think there's longevity in that for you in your career? Is that a distinguishing factor for you, that you look out for these populations because you've got more to offer there, but also there's a lot more people that you can choose from?
I guess with people like, for example, I've got a few clients that have retired, and it's like there's another phase in their life where they want to grow and learn more skills, and they have the time. So I love working with people like that. It's just basically a blank canvas. But also I love working with different populations and demographics, is because they love that community. So I don't think it expires. I think you just got to show them different kind of angles and the way they can incorporate it into their lifestyle.
Fitness Australia, to me, offers a scope for me to grow and improve as a trainer. There's so much information that I get about courses that are on offer, things that I can do to keep learning, continually better myself. If I want to stay in this job, I need to stay fresh. Those ideas are what I buy into and keep my classes fresh. So having access to that information, it's priceless.
because they advocate for the industry. We are, as a club owner, club manager, or recreation facility manager, we only have a relatively small voice within our community, and we need to have a body that speaks for us. And Fitness Australia does that, and they give you as an operator a voice, and we need that, and we need it more than ever.
Being qualified is paramount, but being associated with Fitness Australia gives you credibility. So you're associated with a governing body that people can check up to see that your qualifications have been verified. So I found that instrumental to the credibility that I have for anyone looking for fitness professionals online.
So today I'm talking with Diane Bridgford, who is a Level 3 Fitness Australia accredited personal trainer, has been training for, do you want to share how many, Diane?
Over 20 years.
We'll stick with over 20, we don't need to get too much detail.
That's right.
But that is a long time. Now we've got an industry which has a reputation for turning over trainers quite quickly. Our information tells us that within a couple of years, quite a few trainers have moved on to something else. Tell me, what's the secret for you? What's the secret to you staying in the industry for this period of time?
I think what you're saying is true. I've seen a lot of trainers come in and leave, and I guess the secret for me is my passion for health, but my adaptability. Throughout all of that time, I've just adapted to whatever was in at the time, or maybe I've trained in something different. I've gone a little outside of the fitness industry and engaged in sports, but actually I've never left the fitness industry. It's I even thought at one stage that I'd become a teacher, but that I still stayed in the fitness industry.
You can check out, but you can never leave.
Yes,
I know
yes,
the feeling.
That's how it ended up.
I get the sense really that I guess the roundedness of trainers is another piece about keeping people in the industry. And I picked up on, you were talking about yoga and Pilates. So obviously you do a level of physical training, but with yoga and Pilates, you're probably just getting a little bit more into the mind-body piece as opposed to just the body piece. Is that fair to say? Do you think that there's a message in that too?
Yes, I'm definitely more than just a body trainer, because for me, health is a whole bunch of components. Mental, emotional, physical, social and spiritual health is really what comprises health. And I think when you piece all of that together and put it all in balance, so for instance, somebody might not always need to be doing the physical side that they think they need, because they might be missing out in another area. So often I'm training my clients quite differently to what they might expect that they were going to train.
Okay. Remind me not to train with you. I don't never know what's going to happen when I turn up.
Oh no, it's always good. They always leave happy.
Oh, that's
Big
good.
Smiles. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. Thank you. Because what we don't realise is that there's a ton of support out there if you are in business for yourself. There are endless conferences, there's business management, roundtable. Here at Fitness Australia, we've got Grow Your Fitness Business. We've got a whole bunch of tools that will allow you to be a professional trainer, not just someone with a job in the industry. And that's the critical piece. That's the critical piece, because that's where the expert piece comes in. That's when you become a master in your field, that you really know what it is that you're doing, and you get amazing outcomes for your clients. So ask yourself that question. What am I doing here? Am I an exercise professional, or have I got a job in the fitness industry? I'd like to think you're an exercise professional.
Medals then as well. So yeah, I've travelled along with that. I can fix that.
You can't, Don, it's made of metal.
Oh, I can fix anything. I can fix anything.